Hey everyone, today we're going to do an overview of the Norwegian Escape. Come check it out. Hey everyone, John here from Bite Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for coming to check us out. We are a small travel agency trying to give you the best information possible about cruising so you can plan and go on an amazing cruise vacation. If that sounds good, we'd love for you to like our video here if you enjoy it, and please subscribe to our channel. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so come along and join us. It doesn't cost you a penny. So today we're going to talk all about the Norwegian Escape. Our goal here, we are currently probably on the Norwegian Escape. We're going on the Norwegian Escape October 15th of 2023 here. I'm videoing this just a few days before. So the goal here is to give you just kind of like a big overview of the ship, everything they have to offer, everything that's going on. And then when we come back, we're going to do videos, we're going to do tours, we're going to do vlogs, we're going to do reviews of all the different food and everything like that. So today we're going to tell you all about the ship. Norwegian Escape is a Breakaway Plus class ship. It is the first in the Breakaway Plus class. It was built in 2015. It was refurbished a little bit in 2022. They had some issues, got into a little bit of a fender bender, had to get a little imagination of the parts there. So they did a few little upgrades at that point, but no major refurbishments yet. It is due for dry dock, I believe, in 2025. So the ship is 164,000 gross tons. It holds 4,266 passengers at double occupancy, which means it can hold more than that, probably close to 4,600 at full capacity. It is 1,069 feet long. It is 179 feet wide. There are 1,700 crew on board. It's an amazing ship. I love the Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships. I do have a few pros and cons that we'll get into as we move forward. But in this class, there are a ton of things to do. We're going to talk all about what's on the ship and what things you could do. So from an accommodation standpoint, there are obviously tons of cabins here. You're going to have 82 studio cabins, which may increase a little bit as Norwegian has recently announced that they're adding another 1,000 studio cabins to their entire fleet. So 82 studio cabins there in the studio complex, which is 3 floors, 3 decks, 10, 11, and 12 towards the middle of the ship there. There is a studio lounge where you can get coffee, drinks, food, different things all throughout the day, which is really nice. Kind of a meeting spot for solo travelers. Norwegian does pretty much the best job of that for solos. There are 407 inside cabins, 114 ocean view cabins, and a whopping 1,168 balcony cabins. There are also 308 mini suite or suite cabins, which is really, really nice. So you have the Haven Complex there that has many different suites in there. The Haven Complex, if you're not familiar, is a ship within a ship. So you have a pool in there, a bar and lounge in there, a restaurant in there that is only for Haven guests. So if you're in a suite, you have your own pool deck, sun deck out there. It's really, really, really nice. There are also 47 accessible cabins on this ship. So plenty of space for everyone. Next up, we're going to talk all about the dining options on board. Let's talk about complimentary dining venues that are included in your cruise fare. The first are going to be Taste and Savor. These are the kind of main dining rooms. Norwegian does dining a little bit different. They do freestyle dining, which means you can eat anywhere at any time you like. There are no set dining times like a first seating, second seating. You can just go to the restaurants whenever you're ready. Taste and Savor generally get crowded at the normal times. Between 6:30, 7:30 at night is going to be the most crowded. If you go earlier, you go late, it's going to be less crowded. If there is a line when you get there, it does kind of tie up the hallways there. They will give you a little beeper and let you know when your table is ready. Generally, it is a very short wait. There is Oceans, which is the kind of Irish British pub on the ship. It's right in the middle, 6, 7, 8 place there. It's on deck 7. They have food pretty much 24 hours a day. There are a few hours here and there where they will shut down just to clean or flip things over. So maybe like an hour in each time, but pretty much they're open about 21 to 22 hours a day. You can get breakfast in there. You can get the rest of the time, you can get pretty much pub food, hot dogs, hamburgers, sandwiches, Cuban sandwiches, soups, chicken wings, pretzel bites, all the things you would normally find in a pub. It is complimentary. It is pretty good. It's a great spot to hit late at night when nothing else is open if you just want to grab a quick bite. Garden Cafe is the buffet on board NCL Escape. It is pretty large. It is both sides of the back of the ship there. You can grab a bunch of food. At that venue, everything is typical buffet food. There's also the Manhattan Room. The Manhattan Room is kind of like it's like an old school, like jazz kind of vibe to it. When you go in there, there are huge vaulted ceilings. It looks up onto Cagney's and Moderno. And sometimes they have like a piano player or like a vocalist or some dancers that come out. But it's got like an old 1920s kind of New York supper club vibe to it. Again, that is included in your cruise fare, is the typical main dining room food that has specials and everything else every day. Next up is room service. Room service is not free. There is a delivery charge for it. So technically it's free, but you do pay for delivery. It's $10.95 for delivery, but you can get a ton of food. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll order breakfast to the room and we'll get breakfast for everybody and then just pay the one single $10.95 charge. Next up, teppanyaki. This is our favorite for sail away. Teppanyaki is the hibachi restaurant on board. You can get sushi there as well. You can pick out different combinations that you like. There is a cover charge for teppanyaki. These are all specialty dining restaurants now on. You can buy a dining package for one up until the full trip if you'd like to do that. Teppanyaki is a blast. Lots of fun. Just like your hometown hibachi restaurant. Next up, Bayamo by Ocean Blue. This is an upscale seafood restaurant. If you've ever been on Royal Caribbean, this is like a little step up from Hooked, where Hooked is kind of like a New England, sit down, grab some, like a lobster roll and different things. This is going to be a little more elevated experience. Really, really good. I've always enjoyed Bayamo. I enjoy Ocean Blue as well on the ships where that's offered. So that, again, it's on deck 8. It's going to be around 6, 7, 8 placed there. Teppanyaki on deck 6 in the middle of the ship, right across from the comedy club there and the dueling pianos. Food Republic on deck 8 forward. So if you are out on deck 8 on the waterfront, which is a popular spot where you can walk around the ship, if you're going to dead end in the front there on the starboard side, when you walk inside, Food Republic is right there. Food Republic Asian Fusion, more of an a la carte experience where you can order some sushi, some Asian food, some bao buns. So you'll get some Korean food, all different kinds of Asian delicacies in there. I love Food Republic. It's a great restaurant. But it is more of an a la carte experience. Just be careful there. Your bill gets expensive very quickly. Next on our list is Moderno. Moderno is a Brazilian churrascaria. It is where you have the little green and red card there and flip it over if you want them to come out. They'll come out constantly with different cuts of meat from different types of steaks. They will have sirloins, picanhas. They will have fillets wrapped in bacon, pork loin, lamb, sausages, chicken, the whole 9 yards, and they will keep coming until you can't eat anymore. They also have a tremendous salad bar there. That is on deck 8. It is on deck 8 aft. So in the back of the ship, right above the Manhattan room there. And it is right across from next on our list, which is Cagney's, which is the traditional steakhouse. You can go there. There's indoor and outdoor seating for both of those restaurants on the waterfront, which is the little kind of boardwalk on the outside of the ship. Cagney's and Moderno, both very, very good. Again, same cover charge, or if you have the dining package, it will come out of that. At all of these restaurants, there are going to be some upgrades to the dining as well. You can get like a lobster tail, or you can get like a tomahawk steak or a porterhouse. Certain things that are going to be a little bit more money, but mostly everything is going to be covered under your dining package if you have a specialty dining package. Next restaurant we're going to talk about is La Cucina. It is moving towards the front of the ship on deck 8, also has outdoor seating. It is going to be right next to the Poorhouse, which is a bar, which we'll talk about shortly. Italian restaurant. Not my favorite iteration of Italian restaurants, but it is very, very good. It's better than it used to be. I ate there recently on Joy. I had a very good meal. It's good. It's not a restaurant that if you were picking like 3 specialty dining restaurants, it wouldn't be in my top 3. But it's a nice meal, and if you do like to splurge, if you have the full dining package, absolutely go check it out. Next up is my favorite specialty dining on NCL, which is Le Bistro. French dining, a little more fancy. If you are celebrating something special, great place to go to. They do have standard food there, so if you're not adventurous, they have steaks and seafood and different things as well as some adventurous different things like escargot and a whole bunch of different things. So that is on deck 6, right in the middle of the ship, right next to teppanyaki, again, across from the dueling pianos. Next up is Pincho's Tapas Bar. That is up on deck 8. It is right across from the Sugarcane Mojito Bar at 6, 7, 8, where all the things are on the ship. Just, obviously Spanish tapas, very, very good. Again, not one that I would spend a dining package on. It's a la carte. Grab a couple things, test them out. Maybe a good spot to go for lunch. So you're not spending as much money, just a couple little snacks, but it's very good. Next specialty dining is American Diner. This is another one where I wouldn't recommend you use a dining package. It is, it's standard diner food. It's a little better than Johnny Rockets that's on Royal Caribbean. But you're going to get milkshakes, you're going to get burgers, chicken sandwiches, turkey clubs, the whole 9 yards that you would normally get, fish and chips, things like that, at a fairly reasonable price. So there you go. And then next up is Dolce Gelato, a little gelato stand that's on the outside of the ship on deck 8 on the waterfront. Lots of fun there. Great experience. It is a little bit expensive, but it's fun and you're on vacation. Spend $5 or $6 on a little gelato. It's really good. It's better than the soft serve, obviously, that you would get. So you could check that out. So those are all the dining options on the ship. You will not go hungry on NCL. There are plenty of places to eat. You will run into a few places where it's maybe not convenient time-wise, like later at night, it's only Oceans. But again, for the most part, morning, noon, and night, you will have no problem finding a place to eat. The main dining room is open for breakfast every day. They're open for lunch some days, depending if you're on a sea day or at a port. Just check your Freestyle Daily for all the dining. It's on the back side. It'll tell you all the hours of when everything's open. Next, let's talk about the entertainment and activities on board the NCL Escape. First up, the main signature show is Choir of Man. It is a great show. It takes place in like a British pub. They have working taps on the stage. They will come out and give you beers. It's a fun time. One of my favorite all-time shows on a cruise ship. You will love it. Go check it out. Next up is brand new. They are now doing Wheel of Fortune in the theater. There's a digital version that you're going to play from your seats, and then you can get called up to play the actual Wheel of Fortune with real prizes and everything. So that's going to be a blast. We'll talk all about that in our vlogs and in our review in the next few weeks. Next is the Headliners Comedy Club. So on a cruise ship, there's going to be comedy shows. Those comedy shows are going to take place a few nights on the cruise. In my general opinion, comedy on cruise ships is not the best. However, it's something to do. Go hang out with your friends. Check out a comedy show. Some people love it. So let us know what you think of the comedy shows. Next up, you could do a behind-the-scenes tour. This is for an additional fee. The behind-the-scenes tour is definitely worth it to do once in your life. It's usually about $100, but they give you a tour of like the laundry facilities, the galleys, down that Route 95 that goes through the entire ship. It is pretty amazing. Again, you could do it once and then be satisfied, but it is a really cool experience, especially on such a big ship. Very, very cool. Next for activities is Bamboozled. This is their iteration of like an escape room. So there is no escape room on Escape. However, they do have a little game that you can play with a group. They bring you into a venue where you sit at a table and they give you clues. So it is kind of like an escape room. It's just a paper escape room. It is actually fun. We did it on our last cruise on Getaway, and we were able to escape the room and win the prize, which was like little phone chargers, which is actually pretty cool. The next one is Deal or No Deal. You'll see this going on in the atrium. They play this game in the atrium. One of my least favorite things about the Escape is that they do a lot of activities in the atrium, and it gets very, very crowded. They have to bring extra chairs out. They should just do those in the theater. I wish there was like a secondary theater. You know, like on most of the older ships, there was like a theater, and then there's like a big room, like a lounge or something like that. They don't really have that on Escape. So unfortunately, it's the atrium. So it does get very, very busy and crowded and hard to pass by there when something's going on. But Deal or No Deal, a lot of fun. Little trick, if you get there early, you can go up to Oceans and sit around the counter and watch it from there. But that gets crowded as well. Next, Howl at the Moon. This takes place in the Comedy Club. So late night on a few nights of your cruise, you will have dueling pianos. It is so much fun. You could pay for them to play songs. You could tip them to stop a song. So much fun. There's a lot of back and forth. The performers are amazing. It's incredible that they could play all the different songs. So much fun. Go check that out. Next is the Supper Club. This is kind of like a meal and a show. We did this on Getaway. They adjunct on this particular iteration on Escape. It is like a very traditional song and dance show. We'll talk more about it after we do it next week. But again, just another option for you. It is an additional cost. Let's talk about some of the games and stuff. So you will have Sudoku and trivia throughout the day. There are lots of trivia and lots of other fun games like the Newlywed Show or the Love and Marriage Show, whatever each line calls that. And there are a lot of other games like the Yes No game and group trivia, different things. There's a lot of fun things going on. Again, just consult your Freestyle Daily. You could check it out on your phone or get a paper copy on the ship. For bars, let's talk about the bars. We have the Mix Bar, which is in between Taste and Savor. Gets very crowded around dinner time, but a good place to grab a drink during the day. The Atrium Bar, always crowded. They're on deck 6 towards the front where the atrium is. It's also the place where you have the Atrium Cafe where you can get Starbucks coffee. They don't have a Starbucks on board Escape, but they do have the Atrium Cafe, and it does get crowded. The Poorhouse, this is the Cavern Club on some of the other ships. Very small venue where they do like cover bands. It is great. I can't tell you how great it is. My only complaint is it's so small and it gets so crowded. So you have to get there very early if you want to catch a show at the Poorhouse. Prime Meridian Bar is in between Cagney's and Moderno. Great spot to get a drink in the evening. Great place to get like a fun cocktail and just hang out. There's a lot of hustle and bustle with the restaurants. Smells great over there. Very cool bar. You have the Skyline Bar, which is in your casino. You have Spice H2O, which is up on your top pool deck at the very, very, very back of the ship. It is adults only sun deck during the day, but it is wide open for everyone at night. They do like the glow party out there. They'll do different, like a thriller party. All the different theme nights go on pretty much out there. There is a waterfall grotto out there that's not going to be great in October as we go to Canada and New England, but it is usually great in your Western and Eastern Caribbean itineraries. And there is smoking on the port side of Spice H2O. Sugarcane Mojito Bar, deck 8, right in the middle there. Great spot. They have live music there at night. Lots of like salsa and merengue music. Lots of fun. Great place to get different kinds of mojitos. The watermelon mojito is a little spicy. Get the little peppered rim. Super good. Next up, Cellars is the wine bar. This is one of the things I love about Norwegian that I think they excel at. Norwegian has a great wine program. They have wine tastings on every sea day of your cruise. Sadly, we only have one sea day on our upcoming trip. So I'm sure we'll do one of the wine tastings, but they do a chocolate, wines around the world. They do blind tasting with black glasses. So much fun. Go to one of the wine tastings. They're like $20. It is so worth it. You get a lot of wine and some food. So next up, District Brewhouse. If you like beer, this is the spot for you. Again, deck 8 forward. It's going to be on your port side of the ship, which is the left side if you're facing forward. They have a piano player in there at night who is a blast. They have tons of beers on tap. They have the food. You can get food there. It's from Food Republic. It does cost additional. Great place to hang out at night, kind of like a fun kind of IPA beer house, for lack of a better term. Tobacco Road, obviously cigar bar. You have the little humidor and cigar area where you could smoke enclosed in there, which is very nice. And then your Tobacco Road bar is where you're going to get your old fashions, your scotches, your whiskeys. That's a great place to hang out. You have a couple other places to hang out. The casino, obviously, you have the Waterfront, which is the outdoor walking path that goes around. It's like a boardwalk on the ship. It's amazing. I love it. It's one of the things that draws me continuously in to Norwegian is that outdoor space where you're just closer to the sea, beautiful views, and it's just like an old school boardwalk to me. It's great. Restaurant space out there, the gelato place out there. I really, really, really enjoy it. You have the Vibe Beach Club, which is a cost. It's an adults only private access sun deck. You have upgraded furniture. You have obviously bar service and everything up there. It's a nice quiet spot to get away. Not particularly my cup of tea. I don't really lay out in the sun, but if you're trying to avoid the crowds, and these ships do get crowded, that's a great spot to do that. Now let's talk about the family features of the cruise ship. So first of all, you can bring kids of any age and enroll them into the kids programs. There is a Guppies area, which is 6 months to 3 years old, where you can do activities with your smaller children there. There's Splash Academy, 3 to 12, where you can drop your kids off for what is essentially daycare, where they do arts and crafts and fun things during the day. There's video games, there's movies, there's a whole bunch of things. Then there's Entourage, which is the nightclub for kids that are 13 to 17. So those teens can kind of hang out together. There's a kids aqua park. You have mini golf. There's a ropes course up there, which is a ton of fun. There's a sports complex where they can play pickleball, soccer, basketball, with family or by yourself or just the kids. And there is a huge video arcade. So tons of things for kids to do on Norwegian and on these ships. Now let's talk about health and wellness. There is a fitness center. Obviously, there are bikes up there. They have classes. They have stretching classes in the morning. There are all kinds of free weights up there, treadmills, Versa climbers, all the things that you would find in a gym. There is a spa up there where you can get massages, full salon, get your hairs, get your nails done, get a manicure and pedicure, get Botox. So it's a medi spa. You could do the cool sculpting, acupuncture, all of those things while you're on a cruise. Crazy. They also have a thermal suite, which is one of my favorite places on the whole ship. It is a little expensive. Right now, it's around $300 for a 7-day. It is a private area where it's only people who have access to the thermal suite. You get a snow room up there. There's a spa, a sea salt room. There is saunas, wet sauna, like a steam sauna, dry sauna. There are heated benches up there. There's a therapy pool. It is amazing. And again, great place to avoid crowds. If you're trying to get away from kids and trying to get away from just the big crowds of a big ship, this place is amazing. It is open till usually around 10 o'clock at night, opens around 10 o'clock in the morning. You can go there and hang out all day if you want to. It is wonderful. There is water, fresh water with like lemon and lime during the day. There are apples and oranges there and tea, and it's just an amazing spa experience. Highly recommend that. Now let's talk about where this ship is going over the next couple years. Right now it is doing Canada, New England just for a few weeks. Then it's going to switch up back to Bermuda. So it's going to be doing Bermuda in November. And then at the end of November, it is going to shoot down to Port Canaveral and do the Eastern and Western Caribbean until April of 2024, when it's going to do a transatlantic, which is an amazing cruise from New York to Italy. Then from May to October, the end of October, it's going to do Mediterranean 10, 11, 12, 16-day cruises that are also cruise tours, which are great, where you could do some land and some sea. Those are always amazing. Then it's going to shift back. It's going to do a transatlantic back in November of 2024 to Miami. Then it's going to stay in Miami just for a few weeks. It's going to shoot over to Galveston and do the Caribbean from Galveston for a few months. And then March and April of 2025, it is going to be doing the Western Caribbean. So that's a lot of information. Pros and cons on this ship are it is a big, beautiful ship with a ton of things to do. Great restaurants, great food, great wine, great entertainment, lots of shows and fun things and fun events and things to do during the day. My only con on these Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships is that the public spaces get very crowded. One thing that I think Royal Caribbean does better than Norwegian is flow and logistics. If you go on even the Oasis class ships, which are some of the biggest ships in the world, none of them ever feel crowded because there are so many different spots. You have Central Park and the Royal Promenade and all of these different areas. On Norwegian, they've isolated these areas to like 6, 7, 8, and then the pool decks. Whereas on Royal, you have, the entertainment complex on 4 on the Oasis class, where your ice skating is and your casino is. Then you have the Royal Promenade on 5. Then you have Central Park on 8. Then you have the boardwalk on 6. So it's constantly sending people to different areas, different ends of the ship, where it really does control the flow really well. On Norwegian, there's just not enough of those kind of separation points, which from one perspective, it's very convenient to have everything in one little area there. The downfall of that is that it gets all bunched up there. And if the steps, like there's, like the fancy steps in the middle from 6, 7, and 8, if it's a night where they're doing pictures, those are closed. So you're really forced to the ends and you're going to just see the traffic there. So that's it. Those are my only cons. These ships are great. There are a ton of things to do. They're great for families, great for solo travelers. Go on one of these Breakaway Plus class ships. Let us know what you think. Escape is an awesome, awesome ship. Once again, thanks very much for watching. We put out a brand new video every day. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Come along and join us on the journey. Thanks so much. Bye.